Hey everyone, Pessimori here and welcome to Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. For the first time since the Lord's Ball, you are finally able to get some sleep. You woke this morning refreshed, but also a little anxious about the results of the will reading. You arrive back at Sega Manor and see that Beatrice, Leif, Miriam, and Leloid have all gathered. Hey Beatrice, glad to see me. I see you're in good health. Apart from your eyes. My bad. Along with Miss Tamora, who is accompanying Beatrice as her attorney. You're not really sure what to say to her after everything you've done. The air still feels too awkward to approach her and talk about it. Thank you all for coming here today. As William Frega's close associate, I must express my deepest condolences for your loss. For a close associate, you're really given, no love. You're not even given eyes. I think I speak for all of Wyvengard when I say, enough. Just get on with it. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Very well then. To get straight to the point, Lord Frega's will was magically sealed when it was given to me. He asked me, his executioner, not to submit it to the courts for probate until after his death. Although I imagine none of us expected such a time to come so unexpectedly. Anyways, Lord Frega's assets include sole ownership of several banking houses throughout Wyvengard, 10 million gold in various investments. 10 million? 10 million? That's like more than 3. 10 million gold. You can't even begin to imagine what anyone could do with a fraction of that wealth. And lastly, sole control and ownership of the Frega noble house. The executor. There's a difference. The executor takes out a large envelope and uses a rune stone to dispel the magical seal on it. I, William Frega, being of sound mind and body, the sound mind is questionable by the way, do hereby declare this to be my last will and testament. I hereby give, devise, and bequeath all my assets and property, both real, personal, and imaginary, to Jaden Leloid. Wait a minute, no. It's not Leloid. It's his son, isn't it? Jaden Smith. You cheeky motherfucker. Provided that he enters into a legal and binding engagement with my daughter, Leif Frega, within 6 months of the date of my death. What? That's... Huh? William must have added that addendum to prevent Leloid from trying to steal his empire. But a legal and binding engagement is predicted on Leif accepting it. She clearly doesn't want to go through with it. So if she simply waited 6 months, Leloid wouldn't have any claim to the estate. In the event that Jaden von Sanctus... Yeah, I better keep his name out of my mouth. Jaden von Sanctus does not enter into such an engagement within the specified time frame. My assets and property shall be disrupted as such. All of House Frega will be divided equally among my children, as per the laws of our kingdom. Huh? Strange. You were right. William Frega never disinherited Beatrice. This would make Miriam's testimony false. And since Beatrice bleh! Oh man, curse wisdom teeth, man. Since Beatrice would receive a portion of William's inheritance, she had a motive to commit the murder. You glance at Miriam. It's hard to read her expression, but something appears to be on her mind. Yeah, she's probably scared that she'll go to jail for perjury, you know? Nothing huge, right? 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 Yeah, nothing big. Without a word, she walks out of the room, ignoring both Beatrice and Leif. Leif, on the other hand, seems to be in good spirits. Yay! My little sister's going to jail! Isn't it great, Beatrice? Miriam's going to jail for perjury! You can lead House Frege now! Just as it's always been. Just as it should have been. Actually, about that, in light of recent events, I believe I should clarify one thing. As per the Slayer rule, if Beatrice Frege is found guilty in the current court case, her inheritance will be revoked and divided between you and your sister. Ooh. L. I see. Oh right, L is what the kids say these days. Ah, F to pay respects. That can't be all, can it? Surely William added a note on Leif's application to marry my son. I'm not sure what you're trying to imply. Leif Frege is an adult with legal autonomy. She's free to do what she pleases. Now if she excuse me... Wait! You're not finished yet! Come back here! I'd love to catch up with you, Leif, but I was only allowed out of my cell to attend the reading. You notice an Inquisition Knight outside the door. He seems to be watching Beatrice intently. But don't worry, I'm sure once this misunderstanding is resolved, we can talk all we want about our family's future. About that, that's not gonna happen. Oh wait, Ares is after him. Okay, good news for you, it might actually happen. Of course! I mean... it's such a happy moment, you know. But at the same time, I have such a huge mixture of feelings. Whatever. A group of knights leads Beatrice out of the manor, and Leif follows after them. And Miriam will be escorted along with her, I guess. Leaving you and Celeste alone with Miss Tamora. Oh boy. About what I did. Look. I'm not angry, Cuthbert. Oh. It was an extremely unforeseen situation, and Steele would clearly put you on the spot. She didn't do anything. All she did was, well, almost die. You felt pressure to... You felt... Come on. You felt pressure to do something, and you made a rash decision. About that. I mean, the rash decision is true, but the Arya, you know... But the Arya part is, you know... Debatable at best, you know. But I'm sure the courts will understand if you withdraw. Wait, what? Cuthbert, you're not a I almost said the other one. A prosecutor. You know that, right? The word that has pros and then, you know. I almost said that twice. Thank goodness. Didn't you become an attorney to defend prosecuted mages? But Beatrice is guilty. I saw it. I'm not going to argue about this again. You are going to withdraw. This is not up for discussion. You've always regarded and respected Miss Tamora, and you suppose that's always made you deeply scared of disappointing her. Perhaps she's right. She knows more about what's going on than you do. Oh yeah, you have no idea about that statement. You have absolutely no idea how right you are. Like you think you're right, times that by 100. And she's still your mentor. And more, you want to believe that. You really do. But deep down, you know this is wrong. Miss Tamora may believe in Beatrice's innocence, but you can't just abandon this case and let her escape justice. Ah, aye. Your hands are trembling. Why are you so scared right now? He's scared and he doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes. I know what's going on behind the scenes and I'm 10 times more scared, man. He has every right to be scared. Every right. Legal, illegal, imaginary, alien. Yeah, all those rights. You know what you have to say, but the words won't leave your mouth. From behind you, you feel Celeste holding your trembling hand. Ah, I can always count on Best Girl. It's warm and comforting. It's the same sensation you felt back then. Somehow you feel it through her hand. It's as if she's silently telling you that you know what you have to do. Your anxiety fades and you take a deep breath. I'm not going to do that, Miss Tamora. What? You know, I thought more intense music would play, not the main menu music. It's either that or a glitch, I can't tell. Because of all these patch notes that like every day, so it's like hard to tell. You said it yourself. Our court system needs a defense attorney and a prosecutor of equal power to keep things right. That's not what I'm not going to withdraw. If you believe in Beatrice's innocence, you truly believe you're on the right side, then prove it by beating me. Not literally, not literally. In the court, okay? Oh man. Fine, do what you want, but you're only going to make things harder for everyone. Tyrion? As soon as Mr. Moore steps out of the room, your body drops to the floor. Whatever bravery you've felt before got replaced with extreme amount of fatigue. Scale Lord, that was the first time I ever spoke to her like that. But you still did it. You stood your ground, and now he's eating it. Figuratively, I mean. Right now you're kinda just sitting on the floor. Yeah, I need to take a moment. Shall we go back to the ballroom? You return to the ballroom and take a moment to recover. You spot Commander White at the edge of the room, but you don't pay him much attention. For whatever reason. It takes you a while before you feel ready to stand. You okay? Yeah, I just needed a moment. Anyways, the will reading brought us a few more hours to investigate the murder. We should take advantage of the new information we just learned. So, where should we start first? This is the utmost definition of who the hell asked. Right, you're the prosecutor now, so that would technically make you his boss for the time being. This is weird, right? Yep. Awkwardness aside, I've never really led a task force before. What would Steelwind normally do in this situation? Well, she'd normally have us investigate areas of interest. Right, the context of the investigation tends to change after every round of court proceedings. Well, we're lacking a lot of physical evidence. Could you and the Inquisition search the gallery and Beatrice's room? Perhaps you can find evidence of how the sword of spell eating was stolen. Whatever you say, boss. That covers the Inquisition. But what are we going to do? It's clear that Lord Frege that rhymes with Sega's inheritance plays a large role in this case. Even if it's not valid, we should take a look at the modified will that he's drafting. It might give us some insight about what he was really planning to do with his inheritance. Ah, yes. Oh, she has it, okay. I just can't wrap my head around it. Beatrice murdered her own father for what? Wealth and power? Also because he's an abusive, sexist pig, but okay, sure. That's just how aristocracy works. Even the weakest noble has a large amount of political power. Sometimes I feel lucky I grew up in Cornhaven. Come on, where is it? As you entered William Frege's study, you spot a figure rummaging through the drawers in his desk. Why is it okay. Why is it here? Where else could he put it? Miriam? What? Sorry, but yeah, this is necessary. As soon as he notices you, Miriam quickly closes the drawers and walks towards you. But you already saw what she was doing. She was definitely looking for something. This is a crime scene. What are you doing here? You should be in jail for perjury. As if that's any of your business. Considering that I'm the prosecutor, it's very much my business. You give a bombastic side eye to the knights stationed outside the room. They should have stopped her from entering, but perhaps she used her status to intimidate them to letting her through. However, this could be a blessing in disguise. She was clearly looking for something in this room, and you have a feeling you know what it is. I'm not sure if I said this, but whatever. If Tyrion said this, but whatever. I suppose, yeah. I'm only here because of a series of unfortunate events. Definitely didn't expect to see you again, McCoy. Yeah, well, don't get used to it. It's almost the end of the game, so not much left. I still remember how you treated Tyrion back at the academy. Ooh. I still have that tea from the Eastern Kingdoms if you like some more. Alright, I'm listening. Is that all it takes to win her over? Hey, to be fair, it must be really good, okay? And it's really hard to get, so Checks out. I can't believe someone attacked Arya. I hope she's okay. Never expected you to care about that, to care that much about her. Of course I care about her. I mean, aw. How can I prove I'm better than her if she falls at the hand of some common brute? You can see some cracks in her facade. Beatrice, she changed so much since I last saw her. What was she like before? She was far quicker to anger before, and she never really cared about decorum. I'm gonna search that word up later. She looks so composed and calm now. It's like she's a totally different person. Maybe. What can you tell me about your father? I'm sure you know a lot about him already. This trial made his character very apparent. And you don't want to refute any of the statements made against him? This seems like a sore spot for her. Yeah. What's your relationship like with Leif? Non-existent. You barely see each other. Really? But she's your sister. Because of her marriage to von Sanctus, my dad has kept her confined to the manor. And I spend almost all my time at the academy. I don't like coming back here. It appears she avoids coming back to her home. Not that you're in any position to judge her. Oh yeah, I see how, yeah. You appear to be looking for something. What could it be? It's none of your concern. I'm merely trying to find something that belongs to me. Really, because I have a feeling we might be looking for the same thing. Looking for the will that your father was drafting, aren't you? That's... Were you trying to destroy it before we could get to it? No, of course not. I just needed to see it for myself. Did she really do this? Oh, is she also suspicious for Beatrice? Of Beatrice. Why are you so determined to see the drafted will, Miss Frega? That rhymes with Sega. I just wanted to see if what my father's final wishes were. But your father already had a will filed previously. Wouldn't that be enough? You also suspect something, don't you? Of course not! Beatrice would never do something like this. Miss Frega, I never even mentioned Beatrice. Haha, gotcha. Sorry. I know how things may look, but please understand. I'm just trying to look for the truth. Persona 4 style. I don't think your sister did this, but she may have been involved. She may have worked with someone to orchestrate her father's death. Unlike Leif, she didn't immediately deny it. That means she already had her own suspicions. Where's the will? Why are you asking? She's clearly looking for it. That means she also doesn't know. I don't know. I haven't been able to find it. You recall she was frantically searching the desk earlier. She's telling the truth. It should have been here, but I can't find it. He locked the door when he began drafting it. In addition to that, the Inquisition closed the area off after the body was discovered. That means that someone took it during the lockdown. Okay. It was probably stolen by whoever murdered him, right? Yeah, that would make the most sense. Which means that whoever did this wanted to nullify whatever was written on it. It's looking more and more like the motive behind this was William's inheritance. Anyways, it looks like we won't be able to find the will. But the fact is that it was taken must imply something. For now, we should follow our other leads. There's also the question of who committed the murder and how. Don't we already know the how? The murderer stole the sword of spell eating and used it to break into the study. That's true. But think about how they would have needed to move around the manor. Ooh, the map! Okay. The murder took place in the first floor within William Fraker's study. But the gallery's on the second floor. They would have needed to go upstairs, steal the sword, use it to nullify the lock on the study. Not only that, they would need to go back upstairs and plant the sword in Beatrice's room. About that, if someone conspired with Beatrice to do this, why would they plant the sword in her room? That's a good point. Perhaps they had a falling out. Her partner might have tried to betray her. But if that's true, why wouldn't she just sell them out and make a deal with Steelwind? It would be because of the Slayer rule. Slayer rule? I remember the guy at the will reading mentioned that. What is it? It's a law passed down from centuries ago. According to the law, if someone is involved in another person's death, even accidentally, they will not be allowed to inherit the deceased's property. So even if Beatrice wasn't directly responsible, she'd lose her cut of the inheritance if she took a plea deal. More importantly, it doesn't sound like Miriam completely believes in Beatrice's innocence either. If that's true, What else can she tell you? Miriam, it almost sounds like you suspect Beatrice as well. That's... Ooh, am I incorrect? I don't know what to think. Why else would she threaten me? Wait, she was threatened? Miriam, did Beatrice threaten you in any way? What? Of course not! Oh man, this is honestly a bit sad, at least for me, man. Your testimony yesterday was quite convenient for the defense. It almost got the whole case thrown out. And Leif didn't seem to understand what was going on either. With the way she gave her testimony yesterday, it was almost like she was covering for you. Does he seriously not know? Please, promise me you won't tell anyone about this. I won't. What happened? Tyrion! Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it, okay? You literally said this to Leif, like, you can trust me, bro, I can help defend her, and now you're being her prosecutor. Do you just, like, hate the Fregas that much? And she's telling him anyway. Okay. About an hour after the murder, I was approached by Ruby Tamora. She gave me a list of statements to give in my testimony. The statements were true, but she assured me my status would protect me from any scrutiny. What? She had information that I tried to keep secret, and she threatened to make it public unless I cooperated with her. What? No! No! She would never do that. I'm telling you the truth. But please, you can't tell Tamora I told you. She ruined me. The eye shows that her fear is genuine. She's not lying. Normally, I love the smell of fear, especially from you. But yeah, I believe that something is horribly wrong. So I'll, you know, I've seen that woman do all sorts of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. Dang, this lawyer broke the law more times than her clients. Holy crap. I'll bet you're just the same. A successor for the devil of defense attorneys. The rumors, they can't be real. You refuse to believe it. Hey, Tyrion, are you okay? Now is not the time to doubt yourself. There is too much at stake right now, and you have a job to do. We should check on Commander White. He might have found something. Oh wait, wrong person. Okay. It happens. Just don't push yourself, okay? Yeah. You'll have plenty of time to think about this later. Just don't, lose control. Like, the other time. You enter Beatrice's bedroom and see the Inquisition, that's possibly Spanish, coming through it. It looks like their search is focused under her bed. Oh, hey kid. Commander. We're still doing a deep search of the room, but we're not done yet. You should probably come back later. As you move around the manor, you peek into the sitting room to see if Lloyd's still there. You don't see him there, but you spot another individual. Dang. If I had to take a guess. Guessed. Okay. He's Lucio Steelwind. And he's 45 years old. He's calmly reading some sort of book, but you can feel a menacing odor emanating from him. Yeah, he's not. This is not a book, okay? This is not a book. This aura. Hey. Don't kill me, please. You must be daft if you think I wouldn't notice your presence. What? Did he notice you? You barely entered the room before you have a chance to respond. The man pulls out his great axe and rushes towards you. Wait, You bring up your arms to block his blow, but in hindsight, that probably won't do much against an axe that large. Yes. Prodigious. Whew. You open your eyes. Celeste is now standing between you and the axe-wielding idiot. This pic goes hard. Feel free to screenshot, guys. Holy crap. You're not sure what happened, but it looks like she knocked him several feet backwards. Oh, it's you two. What the hell was that? You could have killed him. Oh, man. Shouldn't have snuck up on me like that. I almost cleaved him into two. Tyrion didn't do anything wrong. Who the hell do you think you are? Simone the Digger. I am Lucio Steelwind, Grand General of the Wyvern Military Forces, ex-Overwatch agent. Seems like you did a Michael Jackson too. Whew. So this is Prosecutor Steelwind's father. They do share the same intimidating stare, although he's not the most menacing person in the room right now. Ha! Damn. Celeste, it's fine. I'm not hurt. She looks more than irate right now, but she begrudgingly sheaths her sword. It doesn't look like she has it out. Could have at least shown the sword out and then this afterwards, but whatever. Maybe it'll be the next patch update, which is gonna be tomorrow, I don't know. Anyways, Lord Steelwind was one of the people with a motive to murder William Frege. And as a fellow head of a pillar house, you might have some information about William and his affairs. Miss McCoy, that sword of yours is of Eastern make, isn't it? Wait a minute, if she got her sword from the Eastern Kingdoms, how did she get it in the first place? Wouldn't she need the sword to make money? That sword ain't cheap, so... whatever. I don't need to think about that. Maybe this is a chance for a Celeste prequel spin-off? Hey guys? Huh? Okay. I do wonder how someone of your status earned the favor of an Ixian regent. Wait, what? I'll tell you the story later. Oh, please tell me you did not do what I'm thinking that you did. That is pretty... Oh, man. I didn't expect anyone of your status to recognize me. I know of you and the infamous Ruby Tamora. Right. I also know that my daughter has failed to defeat you once. Once? Just once. Are you sure about that? It's at least 3 times. I await the day when she tears you down from your throne. I hope you mean figuratively. Okay. Doesn't he disapprove of her becoming a prosecutor? He almost sounds like an encouraging parent. Miss McCoy, the Crimson Demon. How do people keep learning about that name? Please, House Steelwind secures the borders of Wyvengard. Don't think I'm not aware of your illegal travels to the Eastern Kingdoms. Yeah, you wanna arrest me? Let's see how that goes. Whoa ho 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 ho. The last time I seen her smile like that and say stuff like that. Oh man. 5 minutes later. Can you stop antagonizing him? I heard you don't approve of Arya becoming a prosecutor. Of course I don't. A member of House Steelwind shouldn't debase themselves from doing the work of a civil servant. But she clearly has her own motivations for doing so. Is that how you see it? She's merely following the misguided path of the Crown Prince. I regret letting those two meet. Beatrice Frege is a remarkable mage. It's a shame this is how it turned out. I'm surprised to hear you say that. I'm assumed most of the nobility hated her. If you're correct, then most of the nobility are imbeciles. Trust me, they kinda are. At the age of 13, she surpassed her father's magical talents. If she had been allowed to develop, she could have revolutionized the study of conjuration magic. She would have been a great asset to our kingdom. Ever the pragmatic one, huh? William Frege, a fool to the very end. From what I heard, you two weren't at the best of terms. That moron can't believe that every problem in our kingdom could be solved with gold. Failed to see the dangers posed to our kingdoms. But what this kingdom needs is a sharp weapon and an iron fist to wield it. Lord Haraldson. Can't believe it took this long for William to come with his defiance. Defiance? But if it were up to me, I'd have the old fool executed for treason. Executed for treason? What? He only sees nails with the gigantic hammer of his. Wait, no. He must see only nails with the gigantic hammer of his. I have no idea what that means. I've been told that the House Steelwind controls Wyvengard's military. Huh, we don't control the military, we are the military! We control the very foundation that maintains order in our kingdom. Those fools in the palace have no idea what it takes to lead a nation. Those recent common folk uprisings are evidence to that. Miss McCoy, one might misinterpret that look of yours as murderous intent. Ah, guess you do have some battle instincts after all. I honestly wasn't sure, since you so obviously have a silver spoon stuck up your... Oh. Celeste! Such lack of respect and discipline. I like it. If you were one of my soldiers, I'd have you hung. If I was one of your soldiers, I'd hang myself. Damn. Whew. Okay, let's try to stay civil here. Lord Steelwind, you were here at the Lord's ball when the murder occurred, am I correct? I was. Do you mind if I ask some questions about what you saw that night? If that's okay with you. I suppose I must oblige, considering that my daughter has so unceremoniously thrust her responsibilities onto you. I would prefer that than having a knife thrust in me, alright? Which actually might happen. I kinda wanna see the conversation again. I skipped too much of it, man. I'm sorry about what happened to your daughter. I'm sure you're very worried. It's her own fault for exerting herself, despite her injuries. Even the bravest warriors know when to stay off the battlefield. How could you say that? Your daughter was trying to do the right thing. By prosecuting the heiress of House Freyga? She had very little evidence to substantiate a conviction. If she wanted to strike a blow on the rival house, she should have been certain that her enemy would fall. But now, if Beatrice Freyga is found innocent, any hopes of an alliance between House Freyga and Steelwind will be completely annihilated. It's clear he and the prosecutor have vastly different priorities. Yes. Priorities. Blah 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 blah. Where were you throughout the night? I so loathe gatherings like that. They're a complete waste of time. Wait a minute, I just noticed. You're supposed to be Steelwind's father, Arya's father. But you're 76. According to math, that means that you were... Okay, I'm not gonna do math. You were 58! Damn! I was in this room, but then I received word that Lord Freyga's lost heiress made an unexpected appearance. She was supposedly speaking with the prince, so I made my way to the ballroom. Did you speak with them? No. I kept my distance and stayed near the Kingsguard. I needed to make sure she wouldn't try anything. Was that because you're wary of her? Yes, I was. The Crown Prince has always been a bleeding heart, and the Freygas are trained to sharpen their tongue from birth. I needed to make sure she wouldn't try to interfere with his engagement. You were worried that she was going to try and take Aster back? I was, but it's clear it wasn't her intention. But you did overhear their conversation. What were they talking about? It was completely inane. It's all just small talk. She spent most of her time playing with Prince Alaric. Right. He was there too. Please don't make me talk to him. I hate him so much. You know that Beatrice had some role in the murder, even if she wasn't directly responsible. Did she have some unknown goal by speaking with Aster? You went to the ballroom when you heard that Beatrice had returned. Before or after the lockdown? Before the lockdown. That sounds about right. That means she was accounted for before the theft was reported. Did you see her leave at any point? No. She spoke with the two princes for quite a while. She didn't leave their side until she was arrested. What? That means she was accounted for the entire night. But her thoughts said that she was an accomplice. Was she there to distract the Kingsguard? Thank you for answering, Lord Steelwind. I'm merely repaying my daughter's debt to you. He's surprisingly pretty cooperative. But that doesn't lift any suspicion off of him just yet. You need to find more evidence if you want to know for sure. Anyways, we should probably move somewhere else. Let's go, Celeste. McCoy. What? Oh, damn. Still angry? Okay. Come on, I thought we were past that. Your spellcasting is undisciplined, but your battle stance and reflexes are commendable. You have my respect as a warrior. As if that means anything coming from you. Oh man. She's... Damn. Okay. Such a badass, man. Whew. Humph. What an undisciplined and defiant brat. Keep it in the corner. Don't let it get away. Get away from him! As you entered Beatrice's room, you see the Inquisition cornering something near the back of the room. It was some sort of animal. Hey! I remember you. A wolf, to be exact. Wait. Yeah. Has it been in the house since the murder? Intruders must protect Queen. What? Did you just read his thoughts? Protect territory from enemies. He must see the Inquisition as intruders. But doesn't that mean that he sees this room as his home? You slowly start to walk towards him. But wait! Tyrion! Stay back, kid. It's a wild animal. There's no telling what it'll do. You ignore them and continue to approach him. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. This human, he can speak language of dog? Wait, what? Is that why Tyrion's such a bitch? Wait, he can understand me? Why are you talking to it? You're speaking plain dog. Of course Tracker understand. What's going on here? Is the Eye of Horus allowing you to speak with him? You've never really tried it before, but perhaps your powers aren't limited to humans. Anyways, this could be a good opportunity. You wonder what else he knows. This is so surreal, by the way. Ooh. Oh, okay, squirrel. Cracker like you. Friend, you smell nice. Thank you. What did he say? Tell me that I smell nice. Oh yeah. I kinda see what he means. What do you mean by that? What? What? Oh man. Okay. Cracker don't like Blue Man. Blue Man? Do you mean William Frege? Blue Man always yells at Queen. Makes her cry. My Queen is good friend. Saved Tracker when Tracker was pup. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, she might go to jail after this. I'm so sorry, Tracker. Is that how you ended up becoming her pet? Yeah. I always hear about other animals joining humans, but Tracker didn't understand until he met Queen. Now I give Queen protection, and Queen give me honey bacon. The only acceptable typos here. Don't fix this typo, okay, guys? You guys are fixing typos like every update. Don't fix this one. Like, yeah, okay. Tracker, is that your name? How did you? Yes, Tracker is Tracker. That's name Queen. Give me. Whatever. Occupation dog. Could it really be anything else though? Tracker gestures to Leif when he mentions his queen. He called you his queen. Do you know him, Leif? Yes, but how? How are you talking to it? That's... You were so caught up in speaking with Tracker, You don't realize how strange this is. I'm a dog whisperer. You never mentioned that before. I don't tell you everything, Celeste. Do you honestly expect us to believe something like that? But Tracker says he can understand him. He told me himself. Wait, how do you know that? She's also a dog whisperer. So Leif, how are you able to communicate with Tracker? I suppose there's no sense in hiding it anymore. Tracker's my familiar. Familiar. So it's the same magical bond Harold has with his monkey. Okay, yes. Yes, yeah. That must be how she's speaking to him. You never mentioned him during the questioning. It wasn't relevant to the investigation. And I've been keeping him a secret from my family. I suppose that makes sense. I doubt William Fraker would have allowed you to keep an animal in his home. Well, I don't appreciate you keeping this info from us. But it doesn't look like anyone got hurt. And aside from this dog, we haven't found anything new. Damn it. They didn't find any more physical evidence of the theft. Looks like you run into another dead end. Unless... Hey, Tracker. Oops. Tracker, I saw you on the night of the murder. You what? Tracker! Roro. Okay. I gotta focus, man. Oh man, this is... Okay. He's supposed to stay in his room. Wait, is that why you won't allow the servants to enter it? I didn't want to keep him in Beatrice's room, but he was very insistent he would stay here. Tracker likes ambience. Right. Wait, if you live in this room, did you see who brought the sword of spell eating here? I already asked him that, but he didn't see anyone. He must have been taking a nap. Or he was outside even though I told him not to leave. Oh man. Feel free to screenshot. This is... Damn it. Tracker see a lot of other things though. Tracker see many new people that night. Right, he was roaming the manor during the ball. He must have seen a lot of new people. Wait, if he was walking around, he might have seen something the Inquisition didn't know about. Can you tell us what you saw, Tracker? Tracker sees rats. This may be more difficult than you thought. I need you to be more specific. Ego in order. Tell me everything you saw that night. No, don't say that. Okay. Tracker take nap in room, but Tracker woke up from loud sound outside. Tracker hears small things running in wall. Running in the walls. They're in the walls. They're in the goddamn walls! Tracker called Queen, but she didn't answer, so Tracker decided to check sound alone. Tracker found sound outside. That's when Tracker smelled bad smell. Bad smell? That's when Tracker smelled flying rat. Flying rat? You smelled a flying rat? You mean like a pigeon? Tracker could smell where a rat is, so Tracker barked at him. Again, don't fix this one. Oh, he's 3 years old. Oh, that's nice. Tracker must have scared the rat, because he dropped on the floor and dropped his stick. The rat had a stick? Tracker could see them now, so Tracker did one final bark to scare them off. Rats were scared and went back into walls. It went into the walls. That's when Tracker Big Stick Up, that rat dropped. Queen finally answered Tracker. She told him to go back in his room and hide. After the message, Tracker brings Stick back into room for inspection. Do you remember what time this happened? What is time? I can see the resemblance. Can you? Right. What did he say, Tyrion? Did he see anything? Rats. Here he definitely saw something. Okay. Let's turn on our thinking caps. Tracker is an animal. Despite being able to speak with him, his use of words is very primitive. So you should carefully examine each of his statements. The first thing he said was small things running in the walls. Okay, yes. What did Tracker hear when he woke up? We recall that someone observed something similar that night. Ow, my eyes. Okay. The servants were complaining about Servers were complaining about rats running through the air vents, so they sent me here to take care of it. I heard one of them running in the vents upstairs. I followed it here. Okay, whatever, I read this. I must have heard the rats that Jan mentioned. They weren't actually running in the walls. They were venting! That's sus! The next thing he did was call the queen, but she didn't answer. Why didn't Leif answer the message? The queen he's referring to is probably Leif, but she wasn't with him at the time. Must have called out to her telepathically. Leif didn't respond because she never got the message. The telepathic capabilities were disabled by the anti-magic field, which means this happened during the lockdown. So that covers his first two statements, but you're not really sure what to make of the flying rat. What do you refer to? Why did you refer to the rats as flying? Because the rats don't usually jump and fly. Is it possible that what you saw wasn't really a rat? Rats are rats. They're small things that run and hide. So rat is a general term. For him at least. He uses it to refer to small animals. Oh! His last statement doesn't make sense. Why did Tracker finally hear Leif? He said that the queen finally answered him, and that happened after he picked up the stick. But that shouldn't have been possible because of the anti-magic field. Tracker, about that stick you found. Where did you put it after you came back? Tracker hide in safe space, under bed. And the stick. Did it look like the sword that my friend was carrying? What? Hey, your friend stole my other stick. Wait, your other stick? Yeah. Tracker found it while he was hiding from Metal Man. Metal Man? Is he referring to the King's Guard? He must have left the bedroom while they were searching for the sort of spell eating. Wait, are you the one who stole Celeste's sword? Tracker! Did Tracker do bad? It's as I suspected. Tracker was the one that brought the sword of spell eating here. What? I have no idea how or why, but the sword of spell eating was lying in the hallway somewhere. Tracker found it, brought it back to Beatrice's room. His room. That can't be! So the person who framed Beatrice for the theft was... If it weren't for Tracker, the Inquisition would never hone in on Beatrice at all. But why would the spell of sword eating be found lying in a random hallway? Leif, Mind if I borrow Tracker for a bit? Hey. It's okay, Queen. He smell good. Tracker, trust him. Thanks, I guess. Okay, but only if you allow me to accompany you. You know about Marianne's position, but how does Leif feel about you prosecuting Beatrice? It's possible she might try to sabotage the investigation. But as Tracker's owner, you don't have a choice. You nod to Leif, but you give a subtle gesture to Celeste to keep an eye on her. Did I say that correctly? Ah, whatever. She silently nods and slowly follows behind her. Alright, Tracker. Take us there. Sure thing, King. Oh. It looks like you've received a promotion. You allow Tracker to lead you to the location where he found the spell of sword eating. I don't like this song at all. I hate it so much. Oh, look, it's the vent. It's the vent. Yeah. Oh man. When I hear this, I can only think of one repeat. Person. If she even is a person. Surprisingly, it's a fairly close to Beatrice's room. He apparently didn't travel far when he mentioned those rats. Huh? As you continue, Tracker suddenly becomes extremely tense. Tracker, what's wrong? Enemy. Oh yeah. Oh dear god, no. Oh? Oh dear god, no. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. I'm a lawyer. Okay, I invoked the fifth, and I wish to speak to a lawyer. Oh no, I'm a lawyer. No. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Oh no. Okay. Come on. I need to proceed, or I shall be on my screen for way too long. Before you even have a chance to react, Tracker steps between you and Ares and begins barking angrily at her. Oh dear! Tracker! Stop that! No, don't stop that. Actually, you'll probably die. Stop that! Leif tries to calm Tracker down, but he's undeterred. He continues to bark at Ares, and it looks like he's taking all of Leif's strength to hold him back. I'm terribly sorry. He's not like this. Not usually like this. As to be expected. Is she aware of her terrifying presence? I'm not sure why, but animals, have always disliked me. I go to review that footage and see what was missing. Okay, I have the power of recording on my hand. And Photoshop if you really push me. What is Ares even doing here? I recall seeing her at the barracks too. She said that her father is friends with Beatrice, but is she also involved with the case somehow? Oh, she is involved with everything. Don't trust her. Anyways, you came here for a purpose. You should examine this hallway and see if you can find any clues. Get the hell out of my face. There's a vent. It appears to go from the ceiling to the ground floor. Yes. Is this where the rat escaped to, Tracker? That's where the jumping rat went. I thought you said it was a flying rat. Tracker could see that too. Okay, there's more than one. Where did it come from? Rats come from over the wall. Do you mean the vents on the other side? Yes. Tracker saw a flying rat escape that way. What is this rat doing here in the first place? Okay, yes.
Repario Arcanum!
Magic? What? What do you see? The vents have traces of illusion magic. What? The traces also go deep inside the vents. It's the same for the vents on the other side. It's the same about the vents on the other side too. Why would there be... Hey, get the f*** off my screen. Okay, I'm going to... Get off. You heinously motherfucker. I should probably censor all that. Why would there be traces of illusion magic inside the vents? Yeah, and the camera shifts to someone who can use illusion magic. Yeah, I wonder why. What spell could have possibly left those traces? As I told you many months ago, shut up. Who asked? Illusion spells tend to do one of two things. They either create freestanding illusions or disguise as existing creatures. I doubt someone created a small freestanding illusion in the vents, so a disguised creature must have been inside these vents at some point. But these vents are tiny. No one will be able to fit inside them. But a rat would be able to fit in these vents. Well, yeah, I guess that'd be true. But that would mean a rat had an illusion spell on it at the time. It's not only that. Okay. Tracker saw that rat during the lockdown. That would have been inside the anti-magic field. There can only be that one, that rat that could have... Yeah. There could only be one way that rat could have an illusion spell active on it. Wait, you can't mean that rat was holding the sword of spell eating. But how is this possible? A rat wouldn't have the strength to, or hands to carry the sword. Tracker's vocabulary is primitive. He uses the word rat to describe small creatures that act and hide suspiciously. But even if it wasn't an actual rat, it still couldn't have been a human, right? You're right. It would have to be a small animal. Small animal with the strength and dexterity to carry a small... to traverse a small air vent while holding a sword. Sorry, but I have to... whatever. Eugene. Are you serious? We know that Harold had a motive to kill William Frege. He was planning to defund the Hall of History. They had an argument that night, and that's when William Frege decided he was going to defund the museums. He must have struck a deal with Beatrice, and with Beatrice's portion of House Frege, she could have easily kept his museums funded. He could have faked the robbery and sent his familiar to murder William. I can't believe this! And there's something else that he said. Tracker could... okay, whatever. Tracker, you said you had to smell to see where the rat was. And when he dropped his stick, you were finally able to see him. Does that mean you couldn't visually see him before he fell down? Yes. Tracker couldn't see a rat with eyes, so Tracker used nose to see. The monkey was invisible! No one could have noticed the small invisible animal. In addition to that, he was venting! Eugene could have been nearly undetectable that night. Beatrice is a master of illusion magic. Beatrice? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not just her, but okay. Yes, the suspect is in the room, and yes, I am very scared of her. So it's possible that she cast invisibility on Eugene. And then there's the position of this vent. We're currently in the hallway just north of Beatrice's room, and this vent connects to the ground floor. If we align the two maps together, the vent must lead to the storage room. Right. The air vent there curved upwards. This must be where it leads. And according to Jan, it led directly to the study. It would have been the perfect route to enter the study and leave undetected. But he wouldn't needed to nullify the lock to enter that room. Why would he need to use the spell of sword eating at all? Because of familial bond, they could telepathically communicate with each other. Harold probably needed Eugene to hold the sword so he could tell him exactly where to go. The sword's magic affects anyone magically connected to the wielder, and familial bonds connects them magically. It makes sense now. Harold could have easily faked the robbery to take suspicion off of him. It's even possible that he's lying about how the display glass was shattered. But I've known Lord Haroldson for many years. I just can't believe he'd be involved in this. She may have known Harold for a long time, but she's never read his thoughts. His thoughts were very hostile and rude, despite his expression. He's very good at hiding what he's truly feeling. And Beatrice, there's no way she'd participate in a plan like this. Look, Leif, I know you don't want to suspect your sister, but it's not that. Beatrice would never trust anyone to work together like this. But she's completely blind. She wouldn't have much of a choice. Even so, she's not the type of a person to trust her accomplice to stay quiet. She'd find a way to carry out a plan herself, and she'd only employ someone else's help if she had full control of them. Leif probably knows her better than you, but you doubt that working alone would be possible with her condition. You can't think of any other way she would be involved in this. Anyways, we're finished here, right? Yes. Thank you for lending Tracker to us. Only want to help you find out what really happened. Don't make me regret trusting you, Mr. Cuthbert. If you're truly on the side of justice, you won't. Good. Now if you'll excuse me. So that's it, right? We finally know who committed the murder then. And if you can get Harold to confess on the stand, he might reveal Beatrice's involvement as well. If he does that, you might be able to convince her and Mr. Mora to take a plea deal. Although, knowing Mr. Mora, that'll be easier said than done. Anyways, this is definitely the lead we've been looking for. But is this really enough? We don't have any physical evidence. It'll have to do. We're running out of time. You'll just have to call Harold to the stand to testify what he did that night. If I can push him far enough, I might be able to catch him lacking. But you doubt it'll be easy. He has a good poker face. Just how much will he be able to hide? I already gave my statement. Is my testimony really necessary? Sorry, old-timer. My orders came straight from the prosecutor. We're going to need you on the stand today. I understand. I'll do what I can to help. Eugene? What are you doing, Eugene? What are you planning? Court's now resumed for the trial of Beatrice Frege. Let us review yesterday's proceedings. There was much debate over William Frege's inheritance. More specifically, it was unknown whether the defendant had any claim to her father's inheritance. This detail was crucial in determining whether the defendant even had a motive to commit the murder. Luckily, the victim's will was supposedly read earlier today, and now it is a part of the public record. What were the results of the will reading, Mr. Cuthbert? William Frege was planning to leave all his assets to Jaden von Sanctus, his hopeful son-in-law. However, this was predicted on the condition that Jaden marries the victim's daughter, Leif. And it's clear that Miss Leif will never follow through on that engagement. If the engagement is not made within 6 months, William Frege's assets would be divided among his 3 daughters. I see. So there was no mention of the defendant's disinheritance. Correct. This means the defendant did have something to gain from the victim's death. Your Honor, despite the confusion around the victim's inheritance, there is still very little physical evidence that implicates my client. None that you know of yet. May I I just realized we're gonna deal with double the desk slams here. May I remind you that William Frege was not telling the truth in yesterday's proceedings? That itself is extremely suspect. And William Frege was clearly not above manipulation and lying. You can't prove that she knowingly gave false testimony. I'll admit that I can't prove that. I'll also admit that there's a lack of apparent physical evidence to substantiate our case. Which is why the prosecution would like to call Harold Squareson to the stand. Lord Haroldson, the sort of spell-eating clearly played a large role in the murder, and his theft is one of the few pieces of physical evidence. As the gallery's curator, I believe he can further elaborate on how the sword was stolen. More specifically, how he did it. I see. Well, the court would definitely benefit from his insight. Bailiff, please escort him to the stand. Witness, state your name and occupation. Of course, my name is Harold Haroldson. I am the owner and curator of the Haroldson Hall of History, located in Holmhereth. That is quite the alliterative occupation. Harold, could you please testify to the— wait. These guys know what alliterations are, but they still make so many typos? Okay, I won't— whatever. Harold, could you please testify to the court about how you discovered that the spell of sword eating was stolen? If it will help. I was keeping an eye on my gallery's exhibits when I realized my familiar hadn't returned. Returned? Where did he go? I called to him telepathically, but he didn't respond. I became worried, so I went around the manor to search for him. Around an hour later, I returned to the gallery and discovered the exhibit was completely destroyed. The artifact was missing, so I reported the crime to the knights, and they activated the discreet lockdown. Luckily, we found the sword and my familiar later that night. So you went to search for your monkey, and that's why you didn't witness the theft? Yes, the thief was probably waiting for me to leave. They must have wanted to commit the murder without anyone seeing them. Commit the crime. Or his testimony is completely full of shit. His search must have been a cover that he's using to hide his actions that night. So how do you prove that? Are you referring to Eugene? Eugene Haroldson, Your Honor, is the name of the witness's familiar. Yes, Eugene is a spry orangutan monkey. He helps me from my day-to-day. I see. Anyways, he said that he hadn't returned. Does this mean he left you earlier that night? Yes, he likes to explore large buildings like Frega Manor, but he usually doesn't leave for that long. Does he typically ignore you like that? Sometimes. He's a young boy, so he likes to have his privacy. I try not to pry, but I was worried about what would happen if a noble or a knight caught him. He usually knows not to bother people, but you never know what might happen. You left the gallery room? Yes, as I said, I was worried that something happened to Eugene. Where did you go during your search? Eugene usually knows to stay out of people's bedrooms, so I went downstairs and searched for him there. I checked the bathroom, sitting room, coat room. Then I finally checked the kitchen and pantry. He might have gone there to steal some snacks. But you didn't find him in any of those places? No. If I recall correctly, the glass was shattered. This is despite the presence of several abjuration spells. Yes, would have taken an extremely powerful spell to break it like that. As you see, the glaze display was completely shattered to shreds. Glaze. Unless Harold had a way to dispel the magic, a powerful mage must have destroyed it. Perhaps Harold had Beatrice shatter the glass before she went to the ballroom. The sort of spell-eating made its wielder immune to magical effects. What use would the lockdown have been? Honestly, not much. Yeah. The wielder would have been immune to the anti-magic fields and the spells that prevented people from leaving. But at that point, the King's Guard just wanted to activate it for good measure. That was useless. His statement just now was missing some details. But what detail should you ask him to elaborate on? How did you find the sword? The King's Guard and I slowly and carefully checked each room. After about an hour, we found it under the bed of the defendant's room. That must have been where Tracker hid the sticks. Now that you know about it, he's probably the one who stole Celeste's sword in the first place. And wasn't that established? That was established! Anyways, this detail could have been extremely important. Okay, whatever. Harold. Yes, of course, Harold. He says that he went around the manor to look for Eugene. Do you think he's telling the truth? Maybe, but his so-called search gave him a good excuse to not be seen by anyone. It's a decent alibi, if not without its flaws. Yes, just need to find it.
Objection!
Harold, you found Eugene before you went to search for the spell of sword eating. Doesn't mean that would have happened during the lockdown, right? Yes, as much as I was worried about the artifact, Eugene's safety was far more important. That's the thing, Harold. You said that after hours of silence, you finally received a telepathic message back from Eugene. What? Oh, she caught on. Yeah, she definitely caught on. So that leaves one question open. How did you communicate with Eugene telepathically? If you were both within an anti-magic field. What? Whoa. Harold, in response to the theft, the King's Guard activated the lockdown, preventing anyone from leaving. It also had an anti-magic field of, yeah. That field should have suppressed the telepathic abilities given to you by familial bond. You wouldn't have been able to speak with Eugene at all. Mr. Cuthbert, are you accusing the witness of lying? Of course I am. Yep, hands behind the desk again. And desk slam, of course. Please, Cuthbert is blowing this entire thing out of proportion. Anti-magic field is a resource-intensive spell. You wouldn't assume that they managed to cover every inch of the manor, especially the areas that would only be accessible to a small animal. Okay, Mr. Mora, let's assume that Eugene managed to reach some sort of blind spot in the lockdown system. The magical it connects two people. Even if Eugene wasn't affected, Harold would be. Very true. So how did I hear him that night? There's only one answer. You did hear Eugene telepathically, because he was wielding the sword of spell eating. What? Damn. Sorry, Mr. Cuthbert. But are you saying the demon dwelling sword, spell of sword eating, spell eating was stolen by his monkey? Yes. It's the only way the witness's testimony makes sense. Yep. She doesn't have a rebuttal. You should push while you still have a chance. Harold Squareson, you were the only one who stole the sword of spell eating, weren't you? And what reason would I have to steal something that already belongs to me? Is to take suspicion off of you, because you were the one who had William Frigga killed. You staged a robbery and used a spell to make Eugene invisible. Then you sent him through the manor's ventilation system, all so you could have him murder William in his study. Well done, Mr. Cuthbert. I suppose you can't stop yourself from pursuing a lying witness. It's what I do best. Of course. Witness, do you have anything to say in your defense? It's quite obvious, but I completely refute the prosecution's allegations. He's misguided, but he's doing his job. You're expecting his thoughts to be hostile. Then, do you also refute your statement about Eugene telepathically speaking with you? I know better than to lie on the stand to try to save myself. I can't explain how it happened, but I stand behind my testimony. Eugene did telepathically contact me during the lockdown, but how? Wait, he doesn't know about the telepathic communication happened? Whatever, I'm not gonna read that again. Perhaps he overlooked it when he was planning the murder with Beatrice. And that's your position, Cuthbert, that a witness sent a monkey to murder William Frigga. It may sound ridiculous, but it's the only thing that makes sense. Or do you have any evidence to refute that? No, I fully and wholeheartedly agree with you, Mr. Cuthbert. Wait. Ha! Sarcasm. Tyrion? Mr. Cuthbert, did you forget that you are prosecuting Beatrice Frigga? Your Honor, even as a prosecutor, it's clear that Cuthbert just can't stop himself from finding the true culprit. Wait, I also meant to say that the defendant conspired with the witness to commit the crime. Oh, really? And do you have any proof of this conspiracy? Of course you don't. But even so... But let's assume you did find evidence to prove your statement. If this really was a plot formed by my client and the witness, what would my client even contribute? Oh, finally. Hands on the table. From what you said, the plot was completely carried out by Lord Haraldson and his familiar. Well, the glass. He would have needed a powerful mage, like, to break the glass. Yeah, sure. So her contribution was breaking some glass. Can you prove my client shattered the glass? And can you prove that she did so knowing it would somehow lead to her father's death? You might have gotten a little too eager. Again, behind, okay. physical evidence against my client is almost non-existent in the first place. Meanwhile, it seems the prosecution just had to bring forward physical evidence that implicates Lord Harrelson. Physical evidence that's supported by his own testimony. There has to be some explanation. Cuthbert, didn't you ask me something yesterday? If my client didn't kill the victim, then who did? I suppose I should thank you for finding the answer. Damn it. All you did was make it more difficult for yourself. But Harold has to be involved. You can't be wrong about that. Only Eugene would be small enough. So isn't there anything else you can use? With the threat of indictment, Harold must be stressed. It's gotten you out of tight spots before. Maybe you can find evidence in his mind. Humph. You can use every trick you have. It won't help you. Ignore her. Stupid bitch. Calm your mind and focus the eye of Horus heresy on him. You have to find something, anything, that might tie the murder to Beatrice.
Naught can remain concealed.
I can't believe that one of my artifacts was used to commit a murder. It's completely disrespectful to the culture and history behind it. Huh. He's speaking as if he truly has no hand in it. Yeah. Can't be true, right? The armbands of intellect are still missing. But I inspected it closely before the Lord's Ball. They were still there when I moved them to Frigga Manor. So I must have stolen it during the ball. You never did find out what happened. Could there be a second thief? Not one, but two were stolen. I never expected anyone to completely bypass my security like this. Uh-huh. Eugene, just what were you doing that night? Did you really wield a sword, if only for a brief moment? You should have known exactly where he was that night. Why? Why would his thoughts say that? Ah, William. It's a shame things ended up this way. I truly hoped I could show you the value of Ivengard's history. It's a shame that Beatrice was driven to flee from her own family. If only I'd introduced myself to her. Perhaps we could have found a solution together. He doesn't know Beatrice? But how? She planned the murder with him. Unless... What's going on? Okay, yeah, he's not involved. You can guard yourself against the eye of Horus heresy, but you can't lie to it. If that's true, were you wrong about his involvement? Is he really innocent? See anything, Cuthbert? Ugh. Damn, she's caught on. Your Honor, it's clear the prosecution has nothing left to argue. There's very little evidence implicating my client, and there's a far more likely suspect in front of us right now. Yes, I must agree, Miss Tamora. At the very least, I see no reason to prolong the trial any longer. Wait! Beatrice couldn't have personally done this. Discounting the fact she was completely blind, she was with the two princes for most of the night. So who could have actually killed William? Think about it. The reason why you suspected Harold was because of what Tracker said. Okay. Tracker definitely saw some kind of animal. Was it someone else's familiar? Right, it had to have been Eugene. Tracker found the sword in the hallway. And Eugene couldn't have communicated with Harold unless the sword protected both of them from the anti-magic field. But why? Why Did Eugene just happen to be in the hallway? That doesn't explain why the sword of spell eating was even there. No, Tracker said that Eugene came out of the air vent on one side of the hallway, then fled into the air vent on the other side. Even for a small monkey, those vents could have been extremely cramped. He wouldn't have entered those vents out of mere curiosity. Why was Eugene venting? You now know that Harold didn't participate in the murder. But how does he know about what Eugene was doing that night? Eugene was acting on his own free will. That's the explanation that makes the most sense here. But why? Harold's the only person that is magically connected to Eugene. And even if Beatrice somehow got Eugene to follow his orders, she wouldn't have been able to direct his actions telepathically. Beatrice couldn't use any other conjuration spell to contact him either. She was also in the anti-magic field when she was with Aster. So if Eugene wasn't the one who murdered William Frege, was he acting independently? No, can't be possible. How could Eugene have carried this out independently? This plan required knowledge of Frege's ventilation system. He was also involved murdering William during the lockdown and destroying his will. Eugene may be smart, but a normal monkey wouldn't have known how to identify and destroy his will, even if Beatrice had somehow trained him to do all this beforehand. No, it couldn't be. Okay, yeah. Yes, the monkey knows. He made some ridiculous statements in the past, but there's no way the judge would even entertain this theory. You have to be smart about this. Your Honor, I think there is one more witness that can clear up the discrepancy once and for all. I believe he can prove the prosecution's case in the court. Really? I find that frankly hard to believe. Trust me, please. There's an element to all this we're all not seeing. And it's the one that no one will believe. What do you have planned now? Very well, I'll give you one last chance. But know that if your next witness fails, I won't hesitate to end this trial. Understand, Your Honor. So I'm going to need you to bear with me for a while. Why? Your Honor, the defense calls Eugene Harrelson to the stand. I like how the song only played for like 1 second. Never mind. I retract my earlier statement. I will be passing my... Wait, just bear with me! Mr. Cuthbert, I should find you in contempt for even suggesting this. Do you honestly think I will allow a monkey to give testimony in my courtroom? Yeah, it sounds pretty out there even for us. I'd like to remind the court the nature of Harold's bond with Eugene. Eugene is a familiar. That means that Harold Harrelson can speak with him telepathically. But that's absolutely... Show me the law that states an animal can't give testimony. It may be precedented, but it's not going against the law. Very well. Your Honor, you can't be serious right now. Are you actually going to go along with this? Oh, Miss Tamora, I am looking for any possible reason not to entertain this. But Mr. Cuthbert has a point. There are no laws against his proposal, so I must oblige his frankly insane actions for now. You don't have to, but thank you very much. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's not as if this will reveal anything. Can't believe I'm saying this, but... Bayleaf, please escort Lord Haraldson's monkey to the stand. Oh my god. Okay, witness, please state your name and occupations of the court. I could do without the sarcasm, Miss Tamora. Eugene is Eugene! Eugene Monk! Wait, what the hell? Bayleaf, make sure the stenographer gets Haraldson's translations. Transcriptions, whatever. Ugh. Can't see the armband on him right now. He must be at his normal intelligence now. Although, how would he even wear them? On his tail? Up his ass? Oh, wait, I better move on. Perhaps he held them in his hands? They only require physical contact. Eugene, did you steal from the gallery on the night of the murder? Oh, no. That's not a good sign. Eugene never steal from Herald. Eugene respect Herald. Then you'll have no problems testifying about where you went. I can't believe I let you do this. Oh no. Eugene explore house. Eugene look for a new place to play. Eugene also look for spiders. Spiders yum yum. You think Eugene steal armbands of intellect? Eugene never steal from Herald. Herald friend. Eugene always Herald's friend. Apes together strong. Wow, you did it, Cuthbert. You blew this case wide open. Is this really going to help us? Look, you'll just have to trust me on this one. I trust you? That sentence sounds like it turned into a question at the end. Yes, I needed that statement at the end, obviously. As if there was like a symbol to show that the question was asked. But Harold has an associate of House Freyga. Surely you visited Manor, before that night. Manor constantly changes. William always doing renovations. Always new discovery to be made. You suppose that makes sense? He had the gold for it. Anyways, what else did you do? Did you enjoy eating spiders? Spider good, rich in nutrients. Wait, really? Some cultures in the Eastern Kingdoms eat roasted crickets. I tried them. They're not bad if they're correctly prepared. I don't think I could ever be that adventurous. Could we please stay on topic? I wasn't accusing you of anything, Eugene. Perhaps you accidentally unlocked the case and took them, thinking they were some sort of toy. This could be an honest mistake. Eugene not dum-dum. Eugene know how important artifact is to you, Herald. Never take from him. Aw. But also sus. You might not knowingly have done it. Perhaps you took one of the armbands by accident. Eugene never do that. Then how do you explain your brief contact with the Sword of Spell Eating? Harold couldn't have contacted you unless you were wielding it. We'll don't understand question. Right. He'll understand it, how the sword works, his heightened intelligence. Unless... Do you consider yourself close to Harold? I would guess so. They literally have a magical connection. Right. Suppose that bond would require a lot of trust. Harold saved Eugene from bad men many years ago. Eugene never betray. Aw. So you were a rescue. Bad man locked Eugene in cage. He tell people to throw peanuts at Eugene. Cannot take Eugene away from prison. Look up, bad man. He seems to genuinely care for Harold. Could that be why he did this? He feels deeply indebted to him. That might have been his motive. Tyrion? I know, it looks bad. But I swear, there's more to this than meets the eye. If you say so, there has to be something in his statements. He had to have been wearing the armbands on the night of the murder. Which thoughts reveal that? Think about how Tracker spoke. Is there anything in the way Eugene... yeah, whatever.
Objection!
Wait, what? Wait a minute. Eugene, I asked you before if you stole anything from Harold's gallery. Eugene, no. Eugene never steal from Harold. Cuthbert, don't waste our time by having him repeat that statement. That's the thing, Mr. Moore. That's not the same statement he made in the testimony. I asked the witness if he stole an artifact. I never mentioned which one. Uh-oh. What are you talking about now? The witness lacks the understanding to differentiate between the artifacts. It's clearly just a simple mistake. It's not just the fact that he named the wrong artifact. It's the fact he used his actual name. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. Your Honor, animals can't speak the same way humans do. Even where a telepathic link is established, their vocabulary is primitive. Right. Tracker called the sort of spell eating a stick before. It was hard to understand what he really meant. Exactly. So that raises a question. How did he know they were called that? How did he know? The armbands were stolen during the Lord's Ball and replaced with a well-made replica. Where are they right now? If he had worn the armbands when he was sneaking through the vents, he would have never had the opportunity to put them back. And the armbands are still missing. It can't be. Is he really? Bayleaf? Search the witness's ass. Do like a rectal search. You can do that, right? The armbands were designed to be worn by humans, so Eugene couldn't wear them on his arms. So where would he wear them? You initially thought that he carried them in his hands, but there's a far simpler explanation. Eugene, you still maintain that you didn't steal the bands of intellect? Eugene told you already. Eugene never steal from Harold. Then I suppose you wouldn't mind taking off your hat. Ah, the good old anime glasses thingy. Are you serious right now? You don't think he's wearing them right now, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. The armbands were taken on the night of the murder, and they're still missing. If Eugene didn't steal the armbands that night, he would have never had the opportunity to return them. He would have no choice but to continue wearing them until it's over. Absolutely ridiculous. You're spinning a fairy tale. Do you honestly expect us to believe a monkey increases intellect beyond human limits? Not beyond. Within, but beyond monkey limits. If I'm wrong, the witness can easily refute my theory by removing his hat. Well, what's it going to be, Eugene? You see him fully break character, and he slowly but surely lifts his hat. No, you can't be serious. Everyone sees it plainly. He's wearing the armbands like a crown around his tiny head. From out of his hat, you see him pull out something else. What the hell am I looking at right now? Okay, there's this now. Can I just end the episode here? Okay, never mind, okay. Told ya. Are you serious? This is probably a blessing in disguise. I don't think I could bear debasing myself any longer.
Objection!
Objection! Overruled. On what grounds? On what grounds? Everything about this situation is objectionable. It's downright absurd. Is he seriously Beatrice's accomplice? But Miss Tamora, we can't deny what's clearly in front of us. I was not ready for today. I don't think any of us were. How is he even talking right now? Scholars believe that humans and apes evolved from a common ancestor. Perhaps all apes can speak the common language under the right circumstances. Evolved, please. I observed your society. I believe calling humanity evolved is being quite generous. Shut up. Just because you're right. Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. This can't be happening. Well, are you all done gawking at me like a bunch of simpletons? Simpletons? Wait a minute. Simpletons. It's quite difficult to separate myths from actual history. Right. I remember encountering a similar problem at the Imperial Academy. Ah, you must be quite dedicated to your studies. They let the simpleton into the Imperial Academy? Rude, but you supposed to can't be. Oh wait. Every insulting thought you see from Harold, they weren't his thoughts at all. They were Eugene's thoughts. He'd been wearing the armband since you first met. But I still don't understand. Why would you ever take the armbands in the first place? I'll admit, the Lord's Ball was one of many occasions. The first time I touched them was due to sheer chance. You put them on by accident? My unawakened self was enamored by his glittering sheen. I merely wanted to touch them, but when I first held them in my hands, I experienced a sense of clarity I never felt before. I was afraid of what I'd experienced, so I left them alone. As I returned to my primitive lifestyle, I can't stop but think about how I felt that day. You were hooked. I wouldn't quite phrase it like that, but I suppose you're not wrong. I already knew the password to Harold's vault, so I came in from time to time to indulge in the armband's power. But the more time I spent with my awakened intellect, the more I craved its power when I put them away. And that's when you made the replica. While no one was watching, I devised a plan to discreetly take the armbands. Harold would have eventually discovered they were stolen, but he would have concluded it was a noble who took them. Because of the pressure he was receiving from the crown. I'm not proud of what I've done, but I never expected things to reach this point. I didn't expect someone to steal the Sword of Spell Eating as well. And I certainly didn't expect a murder to happen that night. So, you still maintain you're innocent? Of course I do. I stole the armbands, but I did not murder William Frege, nor did I take the Sword of Spell Eating. Allow me to elaborate. The fuck? I'll admit, I took the armbands and replaced them with a replica, but I was not the crook who stole the Sword of Spell Eating. The thefts were completely different from one another. The display case for the sword was completely shattered. I spotted the sword when I was exploring the manor. It was lying in the middle of the hallway. I wondered, why would such an important artifact be lying there? So I took a closer look to inspect it. That's when I heard Harold call me out telepathically. The sword must have protected me and Harold from the anti-magic field. I wanted to take the sword and return it, but a wild dog chased me away from the scene. He has a point. He didn't need to shatter the display of the sword. Yeah, he knew the password. But Tracker said that Eugene was the one who dropped the sword. Furthermore, he escaped into the air vent. He was venting. His actions that night were definitely not as innocent as his testimony implies. Must have lied somewhere. You stole the armbands by using Harold's spoken password, right? Yes. I sat on his shoulder most of the time. He obviously never suspected what I do, so it was a simple matter of listening to him when he transported the artifacts to Frega Manor. And can I assume you knew the passwords of the other displays as well? I do, and I can easily demonstrate it. You doubt that he'd lie when you can easily check it. Even so, you already lied about not stealing the armbands. Why should we believe you now? The answer to that lies in the physical evidence. How do we know that you didn't shatter the glass? Harold's password nullifies the locks, but they don't nullify the magic that protects the glass. Harold told you himself. Only a powerful mage could have shattered the reinforced glass. But as a familiar, magic can be cast through you. Only Harold can cast magic through me. I can't cast any spells myself. And even if I could, Harold's spell companion doesn't have a spell powerful enough. Damn. This pick goes hard. Feel free to screenshot. His logic is sound. But what is he trying to say? Who shattered it? The glass. Anyways. But that location was near the Frega's bedrooms. Don't tell me you... What do you take me for? I know what a bedroom looks like, and I never enter one uninvited. Then why were you in there in the first place? I was coming back from the rooftop garden, but I suddenly felt something interfering with the armband's magic. The anti-magic fields. Yes, I was worried about that something had happened, so I made my way back to the gallery. I see. Okay. And that's where you made contact with it. Yes, I was surprised too. At the time, the magic of the armbands was being nullified, but when I picked up the sword, my intelligence returned. That's how I knew I was holding a sword of spell eating. Was this the first time he tried to contact you this night? No, he had telepathically messaged me earlier that night, but I was so absorbed in my exploration, I ignored him. He was absorbed into his exploration. Would that really cause him to ignore a call from Harold? Didn't you have enough time to grab the sword? You were holding it after all. I'm not proud to admit it, but my survival instincts took over. I was more concerned about escaping that wild animal. I suppose that makes sense. Backer is several times larger than him. He has every reason to be afraid. His story makes sense, but not this situation. There's no way he could have shattered the glass. I suppose so. Tracker saw him that night. He was definitely traversing the vents, which means he lied somewhere.
Objection!
Eugene, I'm sure you're well aware of this, but the best way to spot a lie is to hide a false detail within many truths. Then what are you trying to insinuate, bitch? You say that you were heading from the terrace gallery. Did you take any detours? Of course not. With the armbands nullified, my intelligence was slowly fading. I wanted to return to Harold as soon as possible. Witness, I'd like for you to take a look at this floor map. This is the location the wild dog found the sword of spell eating. So So tell me, how did you spot the sword of spell eating when it was hidden in the hallway north of Beatrice's room? That's very strange, by the way. How are you nitpicking such an insignificant statement? He probably just got distracted and went down the wrong hallway. Mr. Mora, Eugene came from the rooftop garden, and he was adamant that he went directly to the gallery. Even if his intelligence was muddled, he was intent on reuniting with his worried companion. He definitely took a direct route. But if he did, he would never have been able to see that in the hallway. I see your point, Mr. Cuthbert, but what does this mean? It means the witness lied about where he was before he discovered the sword of spell eating. He wasn't coming from the rooftop garden. He came from the air vents in that specific hallway. So why were you in the hallway, Eugene? You lied about your testimony. Was it because you wanted to hide what you were really doing that night? I admit it. You snuck through the air vents to avoid detection. You used the vent and the hallway to break into William's study. After that, you murdered him using his letter opener, didn't you? That's not what I went there to do. No, I didn't mean... Order in the court. Witness, is this true? Did you break into William Fager's study during the lockdown? Yes, I did enter his study, but not for the reason you think. He was already dead when I got there. What? What did you just say? It's true. Did you honestly expect us to believe a story like that? Because someone else had killed him before you got there. Tracker took the sword of spell eating, and you were the only intelligent creature that could walk through the vents. Understand how unbelievable and sus it sounds. Why do you think I lied in the first place? But that's the truth. You have to believe me. You don't see any contradicting thoughts, but that hardly absolves him from guilt. But could he really be telling the truth? If it's true, that only brings you to the one question you've been asking since this all began. Who really did this? Okay, Eugene, let's assume you're telling the truth. Do you actually believe me? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You're still my only suspect, but I know better than anyone about jumping to conclusions. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. For now. I see. However, if you want to absolve yourself, I need you to tell me what you really did, what you really saw that night. There might be something, anything, that might point to who really did this. Very well, I'll tell you what I saw, although I doubt you'll believe me. Okay. I discreetly made my way through the hallway through another air vent. I guess I exited the air vent in the hallway and tried to leap to the other side. I'm not sure if it was my waning intelligence or my desperation, but I collided with something I didn't see. I fell to the ground and saw the sword of spell eating laying next to me. I wanted to retrieve the sword, but the wild dogs forced me to retreat. After that, I continued to make my way to the study. And that's where I found William Frege. He was found dead on the floor, lying in a pool of blood. As if I were blessed by the Scale Lord himself. I found the will he was drafting, so I destroyed it. Why did you destroy it? Frankly, Mr. Harrelson, I find that story very hard to believe. I assumed as much, but you know what they say. Truth is stranger than fiction. Isn't it more likely that you murdered the victim? You're clearly trying to cover up what you did by saying that he was already dead. Honestly, I really don't know what to think. Is he really telling the truth? But why were you there in the first place? It all began when William Frege got into an argument with Harold. The Kurd wanted to defund the prestigious Haraldson Hall of History. I knew a man like William had many secrets, so I devised a plan to break into his study and find something I could use to blackmail him. As you know, there's a small air vent in that hallway, and it connected to William's study on the ground floor. I wasn't aware that William was planning to stay in his study all night, so I thought I could look through his documents without anyone seeing me. I suppose that does make sense, but is he really telling the truth? What happened when you tried to leap into the other vent, Eugene? I thought monkeys were extremely dexterous. Are you just clumsy? You have impeccable dexterity. Sounds like you struck a nerve there. I must be muddled from losing the armband's magic. Did you know it was a sort of spell eating? When I held it in my hands, I felt my intelligence return. But I also heard Harold calling out to me telepathically. He was clearly growing worried, so I knew I needed to move quickly. Did this wild dog have a white coat of fur? He did. Are you acquainted with him? Something like that? Well, next time you meet him, tell him I don't appreciate being called a rat. I'm a proud orangutan. You can understand him? I've picked up a little canine throughout my life. I'm also fluent in squirrel and pigeon. I can also speak owl, but I'll admit it's barely conversational. As much as you want to test the validity of these claims, it's not important. What happened when you entered the study? It seems awfully convenient he was murdered before you arrived. I know how it may seem, but I'm telling you the truth. Do you have any explanation for how the assailant broke into the study without the sword? I do not. Please, it's obvious your testimony doesn't add up. Whoever did this entered through the vents or they used a sword to nullify the lock. And your own testimony states the sword was abandoned in the hallway. It doesn't match up with what you thought happened, but does it really contradict the evidence you have? Anyways, what did you do when you discovered the body? I knew it was only a matter of time before someone discovered the body, so I quickly searched the room for something I could use. So you're the one who took the will. I've been trying to find it. What did it say? I was pressed for time, so I didn't really read the entire document. But I found an order to his executor to defund the Hall of History, since he went out of his way to specify that on the copy. I concluded that his former didn't have this addendum, so you could save Harold's museum by making sure it never got submitted for probate. Anyways, do you have the will with you? My apologies. I crumpled the will in the ball and ate it. I then left the room before my intelligence was completely gone. Ugh. We were really hoping to see if William had follows through on his threats to disinherit Beatrice. Do a rectal search. It's hard to believe, but you can't see any direct contradictions. Should you press him more? What if he's telling the truth? If Eugene did do this, of course, the next action is clear. Although, it still wouldn't explain how Beatrice fits into this. Recall something Tracker said to you. Tracker, you said you had to smell to see? Okay, whatever. Eugene, when you were carrying out your plan, did you turn yourself invisible somehow? No, I hardly have the means to. And even if I did, he doesn't know how to cast invisibility. Very few mages do. Right. You recall Eris saying the same thing during the Nightgrave trials. Only a master of illusion could do that. And that's how you first thought Beatrice was involved. But if Eugene is innocent, did she turn someone else invisible? But if that's true, you're back at square one. No. Think through this. His testimony fills in a blank that's been missing. What happens when you cross-reference that with Tracker's testimony? How did it end up in the hallway? So where does that lead us? The thief dropped it in the hallway. But how does that make sense? Did they hide the sword there like you originally thought? No. The hallway was close to the gallery. There were plenty of better places to hide the sword. If it weren't for Tracker taking it, it would have been found even sooner. The thief must have accidentally dropped the sword there. It can only mean one thing. I could have sworn I picked that earlier. The thief was also sneaking through the air vents. The only reason why they would be there. But that would imply that the thief was as small as Eugene. Could it be another familiar? And if so, why didn't Eugene notice them? Wait. But I collided with... okay, whatever. He collided with something he didn't see. In other words, it was something that wasn't visible to him. And as a master of illusion magic, Beatrice was one of the few people at the ball that could cast invisibility. Beatrice wouldn't... okay, whatever. Have you been approaching the situation incorrectly this entire time? To the eye, you knew that Beatrice was involved somehow, but you just assumed she was one part of a larger plot. Okay, the breaking of the glass, the casting of invisibility. These are elements you knew she was involved with, but it never fit together. Not unless she was the one pulling the strings the entire time. And there's only one way she could be in control the entire time. What did she use to commit the murder? A couple of memories flood into your mind. A familiar, okay, whatever. So it's bonded, yeah. Wait. I missed tomorrow's work. Okay. Clap her hands together, takes... okay. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Okay, yeah. Huh. Oh boy. You didn't notice it. You didn't know she was blind back then, so you barely even noticed. But how did she know you were extending out your hand? Well, any more questions? Shut up. If you're wrong about this, Beatrice will surely be acquitted. And after that, the Inquisition will turn their attention to Harold and Eugene. But there's only one way to know, for sure. Your Honor, the prosecution has no further questions for the witness. He's dismissed. What? I see. You have something else planned, do you? Yes, I should need your help. Really? You tell her about your plan. I feel like you're making some big assumptions there. Wouldn't the Inquisition check for something like that? I know it's the best play we have. Do you remember what Steven said? But, okay. Yep. Okay, whatever. If everything goes the way I think it will, you'll be able to confirm its location. Once you do that, you need to reveal it to everyone. I'll follow your lead then. So, Cuthbert, how do we proceed? Your previous witness brought about more revelations than I could ever have guessed. However, you still haven't given a substantial explanation about how the murder occurred or how it actually happened, or who actually did it. Understand. But it'll make sense after I call my next witness. Another witness? Understand your hesitance, but everything we've learned through these trials have come together. And this final witness will tie it all together in a perfect knot. The prosecution calls Beatrice Frege to the stand. Seriously, Cuthbert, after all that trouble just to end up calling my client? Yes. You and your client have the right to refuse, but I wonder how that reflects on your client's character. Doesn't matter. She's already standing here with Mr. Mora. You can carry out your plan regardless of what she does. But it will have more impact if you can bait her into lying on the stand. My client says she's willing to testify. However, we would like to propose a short recess. With these new developments, I'm sure you can understand we have much to discuss. I see no reason to grant the defense's request. Is this really okay? If we give them time to prep, they might realize what we're doing. I know, but we don't have anything to worry about. You've been building a psychological profile on Beatrice since this case began. It's hard to read her expressions, even with the Eye of Horus heresy. She keeps herself guarded and keeps her true intentions unknown. She's powerful, more powerful than her father ever cared to admit. He's dead now. Despite this, he tried to control her and put her inside a cage. But Beatrice Frege would never live in a cage. She wanted freedom and control, and she would do whatever it took to get it back. Yep, ooh. You're sure the accident that blinded her didn't help things? When everything was said and done, she abandoned everything. Wealth, power, family. She could have waited. She could have gritted her teeth until it was her turn to lead House Frege. If she was willing, she could have even secretly pushed her father past the gates of death herself. But she couldn't bear to live like that, even temporarily. You have no idea why. This is how she chose to do that. Perhaps it has something to do with that meeting. But you do know one thing. Beatrice Frege would never put herself in a position of vulnerability. That's a new one. If you endanger her freedom, she will make sure she can see what she's up against. In the interest of giving the defense time to deliberate, we'll be taking an extended recess. Court is adjourned. As you were exiting the courtroom, you see Celeste doing some reconnaissance. It seemed to be similar to when she scanned Valentina during the Nightgrave Trail. Tyrion? Celeste, were you able to see it? Yeah, it's definitely there, and it sits on her shoulder most of the time, so she keeps it close to her. That's good to know. It's kind of weird though, but I never used detect magic like this before. Well, you doubt that someone like her would choose a conventional animal, especially for something like this. Cuthbert, Mr. Mora. There's something I need to show you, preferably alone. Celeste gives you a concerned look, but you nod to show her it's okay. She moves to sit on a bench where she can keep an eye on Beatrice. Okay, lead the way. Well, that was a long trial, and there's more to come. Or at least it felt long to me. I don't know, I'm quite tired. Yay, looks like there's gonna be room for more backstory. And more... Something's gonna happen next episode, I can feel it. I must say, I was not ready for the monkey. Yep, definitely the highlight. Yeah, I must say, it's pretty, you know, fun. With the dog and the Doge. Okay, yeah, just the Doge. It's fun with the Doge. It's fun with the monk. But I was not ready for today. It seems like there's gonna be more later. You know, next episode. I really hope Aries is not gonna be there next episode, but something really tells me that she's gonna be there. And at that point, I just have to hope that there are no knives involved, or anything of the sort. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching my playthrough of Tyrion Cuthbert, A Turning of the Arcane. If you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome. Good night.